The Elder Scrolls Online just got a dark, tantalizing new expansion called Necrom, complete with a new class whose paranormal powers could give Doctor Strange a run for his money. If you get the expansion, you can build an Arcanist character right away, but to help you wield their forbidden knowledge, here's a full guide to the new Arcanist class. For starters, why don't we talk a bit about what exactly an Arcanist is when it comes to the lore. If you'd rather just hear about all the skills and mechanics and all that fun stuff though, feel free to skip ahead. Anyway, this creepy new class draws its power from the plane of oblivion known as Apocrypha. Thanks to the knowledge that they've acquired from the ancient tomes that they probably weren't technically supposed to read, they can now use glyphs and runes to conjure all kinds of dark magic. With their glowing green symbols and Lovecraftian powers, there's a bit of a multiverse of madness vibe to the Arcanists. But they're not just a fun costume for players to try on, because this new class actually offers a totally different style of combat from anything else in the game, and it is proper fun. The Arcanist is actually the first new class added to Elder Scrolls Online since 2019, and it is a true game changer thanks to a little system called Crux. If you've already made a character, you've probably noticed this already, but some of the abilities that Arcanists use generate this dark energy, which you can see floating around them in the form of these little green triangle runes. You can have up to 3 of these on the go at any given time, and they'll power up all of your skills while also activating various passive abilities. And as nice as those boosts are, you can also just spend that Crux to unleash even more powerful attacks. Very handy. Basically, you're going to want to chain your moves together in the right way, keeping a healthy supply of Crux on the go to power you up and then cash it in on a devastating attack when the time is right. Elder Scrolls Online is one of my favourite Xbox titles, and it just keeps on evolving in fascinating ways. So if you want to stay on top of all the new changes, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell. Okay, what else have we got? Well, the other thing that makes the Arcanist class stand out is how incredibly flexible it is, thanks to its 3 distinctive skill lines. You can mix and match these freely, but these mix of abilities can actually strengthen the way that you play your character. If you want to cause pure anarchist anarchy, then the Herald of the Tome skill line is the way to go. By peppering your enemies with rune blades, you'll be able to chip away at their health while generating Crux. Remember that, it's pretty important. You can then use that to convert into a deadly beam with Fate Carver. So sick. If you prefer to get up close and personal, you can use Tome Bearer's inspiration to buff up your weapons, or Abyssal Impact to give yourself a nice set of tentacle arms that can be upgraded to generate Crux while they dish out the pain. But for all you defensive-minded tanky players, the Soldier of Apocrypha line is a really good shout. There's yet more tentacly fun to be had with the Gibbering Shield, which forms a wriggly guard around the player, soaking up damage before dealing it back. If you're happy to be your team's pain sponge, then Runic Jolt draws the enemies to you with a taunt while also maiming them so that your buddies can take them down, and also, yep, you guessed it, gets you even more Crux. But to keep wrapped up even tighter, Rune Spike Ward and Fate Woven Armor can offer you magic shields and increased armor respectively, while Runic Defense grants minor resolve to your entire group, which is ideal if you're trying to tough it out through a larger PvE sticky situation. Finally, we've got something for the healers out there, Curative Rune Forms, which is definitely the line to invest in if you want to do some strange doctoring of your own. By summoning runes with Rune Mend, you can heal your allies while generating Crux, and after that you can spend it on a Remedy Cascade, which will patch them up even further and also replenish their stamina and magicka. That is massive. Arcanist's domain conjures a vortex that grants a whole range of buffs to anyone standing in it, but the real star of the show here is Apocryphal Gate, which allows you to summon a pair of portals that you and your crew can hop between. This is so useful for making quick retreats or even closing the gap on a foe. So, what do you reckon of these new skill lines? Which ones sound the most enticing to you? Hit the comments and let us know. Thanks to these 3 distinct skill lines, the Arcanist class can be turned towards just about any playstyle. The Herald of the Tome skill line is obviously the way to go for players who like to focus on dealing damage. If you want to dive in with runes scribbled all over your weapons and tentacles flying everywhere, then it pairs quite nicely with a Khajiit or Dark Elf character, while those who want to focus more on the magic-based skills might consider a High Elf like I did, since they take 5% less damage while channeling, allowing them to conjure all kinds of cosmic horrors without suffering too much. But if you prefer a tankish build, then you'll be focusing on the Soldier of Apocrypha line. Being an Imperial here really helps because it reduces the cost of your abilities, allowing you to keep those defensive skills and taunts flowing while you draw the enemy to you. And if you're a kindly soul who just wants to keep everyone in good health, the curative rune forms will be your best friends. Bretons make great healers since their spells cost less, while Argonians are also effective physicians thanks to their healing bonus. But the beauty of Elder Scrolls Online is that there is just tons of room to mix and match. So flip open one of those tomes and just see what sort of Arcanist you want to be. So there you have it, all of the forbidden knowledge we could uncover about the Arcanists. Check them out for yourselves now that ESO Necrom has finally launched on Xbox, and if anybody asks, I didn't tell you none of this. I'm winking, by the way. Bye.